Another hater just got his axe whooped. And why I literally went out to root out for this video is because in another video I'm going to make, you are going to be seeing what this guy is literally trending on black people. I don't know why some of them find it as one of the best things to do is to make black Americans talk. And to not make this worse, the fact that the fact that you are not FBA and you now have the audacity that every single thing that FBAs are doing, you cringe, you are pained, you're furious. I don't get. And that is why when I saw this fatful, because trust black Americans, they will not come for you. FBAs will not come for you, but the moment you come for them, they come drop it on your table and just go. And then you will be in your house crying, hiding, or even looking for another means to escape. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Sonia. Subscribe, like, comment, and share. Credit to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. I want to say a very big thank you to every single one of you liking, commenting, sharing, dropping super thanks. Also, join my membership. I do not take you guys for granted. You guys are absolutely the best. With that being said, let's roll out the clips. I'll be back with commentaries. Let's go watch.
The FBA, the Foundational Black American. These niggas ain't involved in nothing outside. They ain't doing shit outside. They on the internet looking for niggas that look just like them to degrade and call tethers all day.
Nigga, when the FBA become a group? Nobody told me I was part of a group. And if you really want to know why black people not helping, look at his comments. Go back and look at the comments right quick. When I tell you, it was some Haitian that bitch that we a bunk collective, we gonna want us to help them niggas. Niggas better learn how to fight for themselves. We've been fighting for over 400 years. And until a couple years ago, not one other nigga wants to be African American. Not one. Because we gonna act like the me no black thing isn't an infamous term. To this day, we still dealing with other motherfuckers asking us what our culture while dressing just like us.
Y'all, I'm making my morning coffee, and I just saw that podcast with Deontay talking about FBA and immigrants and things like that. And let me just say it like this. Unpopular opinion. If you have a parent that's non-black, you should not be speaking up on what black people should be doing. Unpopular opinion, cut the video now if you can't handle what I'm about to say, because I'm not going to repeat myself. Anytime we have someone that's biracial and that wants to come into our community and start to advocate for us, they tend to get a soft spot for the oppressor. They get a soft spot for other immigrants because they relate to being that outcast. They relate to not fitting in to the black community. Quiet as kept. These people make it their business to speak only on black people, only to then use that globalist talking point about how we're all oppressed and everybody's been going through this and everybody's been going through that. The whole world has been oppressed by white people. Yeah, half of you is the reason why majority of the world is being oppressed. And I see through the, oh, I need to speak up for black people. No, that's kind of like that white guilt coming through. You know what? I'm gonna stop the video right here because I already know. Hold on. And another thing, he made the comment that black people don't know what it means to not be oppressed. Black people don't like it if we're not oppressed. Black people have never thought of a life without oppression. Like, excuse me? Excuse me. I read through the lines. Like, basically what you're saying is that black people are victims. We have a victim mentality, and we can't function unless somebody is on top of us controlling us. That's what you're saying. That's not all black people. And that's exactly why I said, if you're not fully black, stop talking about black people. Like, you know what the hell we trying to do. Like, it almost feels like you have ulterior motives because he's literally screaming at the top of his lungs in this video. I've never heard him screaming that much. I'm sure he has. But it just really stuck out to me how this is the same man that gets on a platform to advocate for black people to only turn around and say, hey, you need to invite everybody into the group. Like, no, we don't have to do that.
Yeah, I just thought about something, right? You want to know why Deontay Kyle is really mad at FBA? He's mad because he's adopted. And he can't do a family genealogy. So he doesn't know whether he's FBA or not. You know, his lineage traces back, you know, to the United States. He could have a foreign lineage for real, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But in his video, he said, "What do you want to see, my freedom papers? Do we have to show you freedom papers?" And I just thought about it. He wouldn't have freedom papers to show because he's adopted and his mom is white. So he don't know his family. Like, for real. That's why he's mad. And I guess he's feeling excluded, maybe? But that's why he's mad. Because he ain't got no freedom papers to show.
FBA, the Foundational Black American. These niggas ain't involved in nothing outside. They ain't doing shit outside. They on the internet looking for niggas that look just like them to degrade and call tethers all day. I don't see these niggas doing no work against none of these fucking Nazis, none of these fucking Klansmen, nothing. All I see is them niggas calling out other black people all day. That's divisive as fuck. Question.
So that segment was pretty long, so I'm not about to just play that whole clip for you guys. I'm just going to talk to a few different points. First of all, he's talking about FBA as if it's a group or an organization, which it's not. It's just adding the word foundational to Black American does not turn it into some organization or some group. If you don't want to call yourself foundational, you don't have to. But it's the same. It's another word for the exact same thing. Okay, it's just like saying Black American. You're just adding foundational to it. Nobody had an issue when we were calling ourselves African American. You know, for some reason, people like to be able to control the narrative of what we call ourselves, how we identify ourselves, whatever. But another point that I wanted to make too is he's talking about how we're not out here doing anything and we're just online arguing with people. But Deontay isn't doing anything different. Like, he's doing the exact same thing that the rest of us are doing, which is what? Sitting here, talking to a camera and giving his opinion on shit, giving his opinion on different topics. He's not doing anything more than that. And then another part of his segment, he said that as soon as people start talking about mass communal practices and unity, then that's when we have a problem with it. And that's not how this started. This back and forth did not start with one person going online talking about being unified and being loving and mass communal and black unity. That's not how this started. This started with disrespect, and it just kind of kept going back and forth from there. And while I do understand his perspective, I feel like once again we have an example of a person who's putting all of the onus and all of the responsibility of coming together onto Black Americans and putting absolutely nothing onto the other parties except making excuses for them. Like in his video, he literally made an excuse for their disrespect, saying, "Oh, well, they come from a destabilized country and they were just coming over here looking for the American dream." And so I'm not about to go back and forth, with somebody who's coming from a third world nation or something like that. He said, matter of fact, I'm gonna play that clip for y'all.
And the business of colonization better than anybody. These niggas is brainwashed. I'm not going back and forth with no nigga that come here from another country in search of the American dream when I know this shit is a nightmare. I'm not going back and forth with no nigga that think he finna get some favor from these white people. I see you niggas that's born in America do the same shit. Michigan head coach, that nigga ain't no tether. Stephen A. Smith ain't no motherfucking tether. How many niggas have we seen tap dance and degrade black people that are from America, born in America? When niggas do it from abroad, I don't say it's an issue with them. I know that they're brainwashed by the system because they went through colonization over there just like we went through it over here. Why the fuck is they leaving Africa? Because Europeans are destabilizing their countries, inserting capitalist dictators, fascist dictators in more democratic socialist societies, toppling governments, and then
so basically their disrespect is excusable because they're brainwashed and they went through colonization just like the rest of us. So why are you giving them an excuse or a pass for being disrespectful to us? Like, we're just supposed to just turn the other cheek and be the bigger person and not putting any type of onus on the opposite party. It's like, oh, well, basically just let these motherfuckers slap you in your face and you just supposed to look, just turn the other cheek, be the other person, and continue to want to unify with them and shake hands with them, even though they're being disrespectful, because you know what? They don't know any better because they're colonized, they're destabilized. And my thing is, we're fucking destabilized too. He even said it, like coming over here thinking that you getting the American dream, knowing that this shit is a nightmare. We're all fucking destabilized. This high ass rent, these high ass prices for everything, high ass food. Everybody's destabilized. But for some reason, you're giving grace to somebody else, but then yelling and screaming at Black Americans about being unified with people who you just said are brainwashed. But we're supposed to somehow get past that. Ain't no way in hell I'm gonna give a grown ass adult an excuse of, oh, well, they just didn't know any better. The didn't know any better excuse, we save that for the kids. We save that for the children. The grown ass adults have to take accountability for their actions, because when you're being disrespectful, you know exactly what the hell you're doing. And then he also mentioned like Pan-Africanism and Marcus Garvey or something like that, about how it was in the Black Panther Party, how it was all about Black unity and Pan-Africanism around the globe. But how did that work out? And I really feel like all of those ideologies, like the Pan-Africanist movement, really only in the Americas. I mean, it was all of that started here and it kind of ended here. It never really pushed over into the African continent. Nobody over there was even really receptive to it. So how are we going to create a global Black unity when we're the only ones who are trying to make that happen? Nobody on the other side is trying to make that happen. The one dude that I don't really like is the guy from Benin, Frank Zanu. He even said, how you gonna have Black unity? He said that on the continent they're not united. He said there's no such thing as a Pan-Africanist. He said that's never going to work. And he's from Benin. He's from the African continent. He's lived there. He has that lived experience. So how you gonna make that happen? I'm not saying you can't. I believe that anything is possible. But at the same time, when you coming down so hard on us about how we react to certain things, you're not really seeing the bigger picture. I feel like a lot of what he's talking about is very much like a pipe dream. It's kind of just like, it's just good to hear. It's nice to hear, but I don't really see no real action plan behind it. You're talking about mass communal practices and global unity. Okay, well, let's see an action plan. How you gonna get people united like that? How you gonna get them to unite with us? How you gonna get us to unite with them? How you gonna get in between all of this disrespect going back and forth? Like, I feel like a lot of this is just like, it's just more like a visionary type thing. It's like having a good business idea, but having no business plan, no action plan, and never putting any steps into place. So all you really got is an idea. You know what? And so Deontay has a right to his opinion. And I'm pretty sure the way he says sounds good to a lot of people, especially on the other side. I'm sure it sounds absolutely wonderful. I'm pretty sure he told them exactly what they want to hear. But you know what? Until I can see a mutual respect, until I can see some respect coming from the other people, you're not going to get it from me. Like, I don't have a problem with unity, but my thing is, I'm all about respect, and I'm an Aries. So if you can't come at me with no respect, we just going to go blow for blow.
Oh, the light brights are calling for Black Americans to come outside. First it was Amanda Seals, now it's this.
The FBA, the Foundational Black American. These niggas ain't involved in nothing outside. They ain't doing shit outside.
Now with Amanda, I know what she meant, but with this one, he gotta specify, because do you mean this?
Welder, holding this stick like I'm taking a selfie. Strike up, cut the Draco with generous boss up. I'ma grind like a
Brody, are you Ja Morant or are you Paul Birdsong? Which one? But
You motherfuckers!
can I help you, sir?
Yes, what is this? Huh? This is whack! I can't get jiggy with this shit!
Now I see why he got in trucking, because it was over with before it got started. Okay, next clip.
Why the fuck is they leaving Africa? Because Europeans are destabilizing their countries. And they go to America. And what do? They come through with their religious minds, with their colonized minds, and destable Black American revolutionaries. Because
Y'all, who be writing this stuff for him? It can't be Chat GBT, because AI is smarter than this, right? Let me get this straight. So two group of people got colonized. One group of people was oppressed, still oppressed. Then the other group come from Africa, and they're possessed with the colonizer mindset, and they want to take over the Black American community. They want to colonize the Black American community and disrespect Black American leaders. And we supposed to be with open arms welcoming them. Somebody must think we dumb. Like, how intelligent, how does that sound? And then you talking about we supposed to fight for some people that ran away from their government. They wouldn't even fight their government. So what you expect them to fight our government with us? Third clip.
nigga, They think he finna get some favor from these white people? I see you niggas that's born in America do the same shit. Michigan head coach, that nigga ain't no tether. Stephen A. Smith ain't a motherfucking tether. How many niggas have we seen tap dance and degrade?
Clearly, he doesn't know what a tether is because that coach and Stephen A. Smith are both tethers. Just like the Mona Lisa interview that he did. He didn't know FBA terminology. Talking about stuff he don't even know nothing about. Sit down. Third clip.
Black Americans, and I advocate for this, nigga, me and Big Cat are the blackest of black Americans.
Hold up, he say he blacker than the blackest black American, but what about this?
Your TikTok video about your biological mom being white,
Yeah.
that sparked so much like conversation around identity and like being a biracial kid, and what made you want to share?
And no, I didn't know I was adopted. So I found out post her. I was adopted at 2 days old. You get what I'm saying? So of course that is gonna spark up a whole bunch of stuff around identity and things like that. But for me, it was liberating because I was like, bro, I knew I went crazy, bro.
Right.
Yeah, we ain't all in here looking alike. I'm the oddball out in how we look.
It was just the physical looking, or did you feel a way internally?
No, it's like it's everything. I don't think the way. It's a lot of different things. You know what I'm saying?
Did y'all hear what he said? He felt like an oddball. Not only because he didn't look like the black people in his house, but he didn't even think like them. Like, how could you relate to people you don't have some commonality with, right? Like I know black Americans are not a monolith, right? But to be on code, there has to be some type of core elements that connect us, right? Something core going on with us to have this connection. But anyway, the black folks with the faux black grandparents, how y'all feel about him being the blackest of the black Americans?
Hey guys, so what's up with this Deontay Kyle situation? I've noticed that everyone that tries to vilify FBA, aka foundational black Americans, does so because they aren't one. I'm trying to understand what you all don't understand about FBA being a lineage. I'm hearing people likening it to the KKK. It's a cult. It's an organization. It's a CIA psyops. We are a lineage. American descendants of chattel slavery. Okay, we went through an ethnocide and an ethnogenesis. What don't you understand about that? We're also not immigrants. This is our country. We're 400, 500 years deep, probably longer than that. If there was really books around and really did the research, okay? We've been here. I'm not understanding what no one else seems to get or understand about them. But you know what's crazy? I think people do understand because you're quick to say we're all on welfare and we're all baby mamas. So we're different. But then, for whatever reason, you want to cling to our achievements because we're dope. So, let's stop pretending to be dense here, okay? Just say you're mad that you feel othered. But that's not an us thing. That's a you thing. That's something anybody that feels like they're on the outside looking in because Black Americans are distinguishing themselves as their own ethnic group. That's something that you should probably talk to a therapist about. Instead of trying to vilify us and making us seem like we're the bad guy for having boundaries.
I gave up on Deontay Kyle many moons ago. The writings were always on the wall for me. Give a person a mic long enough, and they will expose exactly who they are. Black Americans do not have to allow anyone to come into our space and our communities, appropriate our culture, use it as a costume, and in the same voice, disrespect the people of that culture. Ignorance is not a good enough excuse. I've never been on the continent of Africa. I've never been in the different countries in Africa. And I also don't get online disrespecting their cultural practices. No one, I'm sorry, for me, no one can come into my space and my culture and use it as a costume. And then in the same voice, spew white supremacist talking points. We done with people not having the information. Everybody has a phone in their hand. Everybody can read. Everybody can find out exactly what they want to find out. Black people of the diaspora come here and they assimilate to white culture and they learn everything about white people and they learn how to behave for white people. They can do the same when they approach the Black community. They choose not to. Deontay Kyle is exactly who I always thought he was.
All right, hey y'all. So can we talk about Deontay Kyle? So I seen this conversation, right? And I feel a certain way every time I hear him speak. Like there's certain aspects that I agree with him wholly on, but there's different aspects that I don't. And one thing is when he continues to disrespect the foundational Black Americans, I find it very disrespectful. Even though you're a mixed man, I think that you might be a little bit confused on this conversation, right? I find it disrespectful when people get up here and everybody on the face of the planet is always trying to minimize the Black American. Everybody is always trying to make us live in a certain way that y'all see fit. Y'all are always trying to make us disconnect from ourselves while aligning with you and your logic, which is not natural to us. I find it weird when we get on this conversation of us claiming exactly what we are, foundational Black Americans, right? Y'all want to try to be disrespectful, but y'all don't say nothing to nobody else who comes from any other part of Africa. I find it weird how y'all claim that we are trying to separate ourselves from our origin. We could never separate ourselves from our origin because that is where you begin. But your lineage is what you're creating and what you're living in the present moment. I find it weird. I find it weird when these Somalians come over here to America, they're not pressured to step outside of their lineage. I find it weird. I find it weird when these Hispanics come to America. They're not pressured to step away from their lineage. They can fly their Mexican flag in America. Somalians can do whatever they want in Minnesota according to their own lineage. But Black Americans, we have to separate ourselves from our truth to align with everything else. I find it weird. Being a foundational Black American means that we have our own culture and way of doing things. Y'all know that. Everybody in America lives according to what culture? The foundational Black American. Don't nobody live to no other African history. Don't nobody else walk around dressing like a Nigerian. Don't nobody else walk around dressing like a Somalian. Y'all want to be Black. Foundationally Black. So I don't know why y'all feel like y'all can come and pressure us to try to separate ourselves from who we are. Yes, we are foundational Black people. That does not mean that it takes away from us beginning in Africa. And then it makes me really wonder, at some point, are you really a plant at this point? Because what side are you on? Because 1 minute is kumbaya, the next minute you trying to attack us for living in our truth. Well, talk about a Nigerian talking about their culture all the time. Talk about a Somalian speaking in their language all the time. I find it weird how we are the only ones who cannot live in our truth. Baby, we don't want to be nothing else but foundational Black people. Why are y'all mad about it? I find it weird. Leave us alone. Oh my gosh.
Do you remember how I tried to warn people about Deontay Kyle? I said everything about this guy seems like an agent. Seems like a plant. Like he was placed there intentionally. And I kept quoting Cat Williams. What do you think a plant is? I tried to warn foundational Black Americans. Tried to warn you. Listen, I got a video with over 500,000 views explaining my position as a Black farmer versus someone like Deontay Kyle. Over 500,000 views, and yet y'all still didn't damn listen, huh? I told my fellow Black people, especially Black women, I said, think with your head and not with your feelings. Look past what he's trying to do. He's going to say things that you're going to like to get himself in there. Now look. Oh, but I was just paranoid. Maybe next time with someone who has experience calling out ops, say someone's an op, you fucking listen.
I woke up to y'all whacking Deontay Kyle, and I would just like to say thank you, thank you, thank you. All skinfolk ain't kinfolk, and I think y'all are learning that pretty fucking fast here. Deontay was cool at a point, right? He was cool. Everybody's same downfall comes from the same source. when you get up there talking shit unprovokedly about a certain black woman, your shit is soon to fall. Okay? Your shit is soon to fall. Now, I don't know if Deontay is a actual black person or he's some other mixed lineage. I didn't know Deontay was adopted, but for him to basically say that black people can only function under oppression and being oppressed because we don't want to scribe towards anything different, well, that's a lie. Every time we were given the opportunity to strive towards something different and able to build our community up by ourselves, it was taken from us. The Tulsa Massacre. Did we forget? Black Wall Street. Did we forget? I think Rosewood was just a movie. I don't know if it was an actual event or not. But yeah, that too. There has been several cases of, I think he forgot segregation was a thing when they separated us from our oppressors and we thrived and we begin to thrive and we begin to be able to sustain ourselves. Oh, the town that's underneath the fucking Central Park in New York. Motherfucking, what is it? Lake something. It's a whole black town underneath majority of the lakes in the United States. Because most of the lakes in the United States are man-made. There are black towns underneath there. Those were thriving black towns that was able and was showing the abilities to sustain themselves. And our oppressors absolutely can have that. So, it was taken. So, before you get up here and say the foundational blacks, or this, that, and the third, maybe you should have probably done your history. Because it's one thing to call out our issues that we have within our community. Sure, it's another thing to sit here and make it seem like our community absolutely, positively can't and won't do anything because we'd rather be under somebody's thumb, when that's an actual fucking lie. I mean, everything in the United States is steeped within racism to keep the foundational blacks down and even the natives to this motherfucking continent the fuck down too. So it's just like, it is really what it is. But to say that foundational blacks love oppression, no. We don't. But he's not a foundational black. So he was raised by foundational blacks, but he himself, the question is in the air about whether he's a foundational black. I mean, he could have easily found out this information. Ancestry, 23andMe, all of these things are right there for him to be able to at least have a starting point. I understand he's adopted, but I've seen plenty of adopted people use these resources and find their heritage. And it wouldn't even be about trying to locate his family or whatever to reach out and contact. It's just to find out who he is. I think Deontay is missing a sense of self, and I feel like he feels like he's different from other black people, and now he's showcasing that. But I'm all here for the slander. I'm all here for the reading his ass for the filth. Yes.
The major division is between, let's say, Black Americans and Africans right now.
So generally, Black Americans, not until recently, Black Americans have been the biggest supporters of the progress of Africa, for Africa to be able to do well. Oh! They have always been. When people come out of Africa, when a particular person, say in any capacity, trying to make a difference, Black Americans have always amplified such individuals. Even as recently as the young man from Burkina Faso, you can clearly see if you go to IG, it was Black Americans trying to give a voice. Most Africans, especially the ones that live in diaspora, they don't give a damn. So Black Americans have always been at the forefront of trying to get Africa work. All right, they were the inspiration that gave rise to the independence in Africa. It was their leaders that inspired all the Kwame Nkrumah, all the people that you see revolted in their various places. It was Black Americans' inspiration. Now, why did Black Americans do that? They felt that these people who shared the same melanin, because it is only normal. It's only reasonable to say, hey, these ones that belong on the other continent that share the same melody. It's only normal to say, hey, you're not doing so well. I want to encourage you to do well. Now they began to inspire Africa. They began to they all the fights that they fought in America was to ensure that Africa can at least some find way to come and become a natural allies with them. Those were the vision. But at the end of the day, you see people coming over to the America rather than being natural allies to these people that supported you, that gave you light. You became adversary to them. You joined the real enemy. You want to please the enemy against them. So that this is the origin of the animosity. And even as far back as 10, 15 years ago, Black Americans were not showing their discontent towards African. They were not. It was only recently, because Africans became far more emboldened in their assertiveness. They became quite insulting. They became quite abusive. They became condescending. Imagine coming into a space, disrespecting the natives, trying to please the real enemy, joining them, thinking is a competition. This was what resulted to them. They began to speak up because the thing became too much, and then they had to. Anybody it became so obvious that anybody would clearly see it. Then they began to speak up. So the idea of delineation has to happen, because clearly people who are supposed to be natural allies are joining the enemy. So why wouldn't you delineate from them? So they don't understand alliance. It doesn't make sense to them. None of this makes sense to them. So the idea of alliance became a thing, and it has to happen, because that's the only way people can now begin to take accountability. That is the only way accountability can step in. Because without delineation, you can see somebody who is from Somalia. He'll be saying, oh, you're punishing me. You're trying to send me out of America because I am black. No, you're not. You are Somalian. You committed fraud. You came in with nothing. You're stealing everything. Now you're trying to say you're black, just to run behind it, and then have all of us as a target. No, you are the target. You caused the problem. So these are some of the things that we must critically look at. Delineation is very, very, very important. That way we can see what each group is bringing to the table. Not running and using other people's identity, running behind other people's identity to act like, because most of these people, when they come back home here on the continent, they begin to call themselves Black Americans. They some of them pose, they try to look down upon some of us, because they come. These are some of it. That's why we need delineation, so that you know who you are right from the onset. So that you if you can't do something to improve where you come from, then the shame is upon you. Then that is what we want. We need delineation. Very, very important. Thank you.
All right, my next question is...
No. You can't hide that. Hold on. You can't hide that. You can't just hide that. Hold on. I gotta let... That's not nothing you just gonna jump on real quick and just... That's something you gotta let marinate for a minute. Hold on. This brother gets it. Shout outs to my brother right here. Hold on. Yo, hold on. He gets it, family.
Anyways, welcome back, and thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys literally enjoyed every single clip I was able to roll out for you guys. And like I said, this is not this guy's first video. This is not a second video. This is not his third video. He always just loves to bash Black Americans. He always wants to bash FBA specifically. He had the issue of you identifying as FBA. So the only way you will not identify as FBA is for you to actually just act as if you don't exist. That is the only way he is definitely going to be happy. And I love the fact that Black Americans are not giving in to his cheap ideas, right? So he made a particular comment where he literally said Black Americans love to go around looking for someone to apportion their blames to, calling those people tedders. And I find it really funny because there are a lot of tedders. That's just the honest truth. There are a lot of tedders. There are a lot of traders that love to drag Black Americans east, west, north, and south. So, and one thing I have noticed with my years of being here on the internet space, right, is that Black Americans will never come for you. I'm not saying it because I want to say it. I'm not saying it because I want to sugarcoat it. I've seen countless posts. I've not seen a post that Black Americans started it from the onset. The things that Black Americans respond to is the fact that a lot of them just want to rubbish Black Americans, say things about Black Americans, and just keep quiet. In fact, it is even recently that a lot of Black Americans decided that right now we are also going to be responding back to you, because a lot of them were just doing their daily vlogs, doing their activities. That is how I started watching them, right? But in doing that, you see a lot of people coming to bash them, saying things like they don't have culture, saying things that they are lazy, saying things that they are products of one man stand, saying things that they are single mothers and single fathers, Israel, so just a whole lot, saying things that they can be deported from America, they should come to the rescue of other immigrants and the rest of that. And Black Americans started responding. Black Americans started saying, okay, since you people have the audacity to always make it look like we are not good enough, we don't want to identify anymore as African Americans. And that is where the problem now started coming from. All this while that Black Americans are identifying as African Americans, there were never issues, right? The moment Black Americans said, we no longer want to be identified as African Americans, because at the end of the day, the Africans are bashing us. The Africans don't even like us. They don't even care about us. In fact, the moment we even go to Africa as Black Americans, the Africans love to exploit us. I don't know if I'm not using the correct word, English word. Please pardon me. English is not my first language. And at the end of the day, Black Americans now decided and they said, I don't know, we no longer want to identify. So we are now identifying as FBAs. We are the foundational Black Americans. We know actually what we're doing. You see this particular guy, he has literally called Black Americans a lot of names. He has said foundational Black Americans is called blah blah blah. It's just a whole lot to deal with whenever you know that this particular person don't just that. And these are the problems like this that Black Americans address. Now, the moment they address, the moment they're coming for you, you make it look like Black Americans are always the problem. Why, in real sense, you know that you are the problem. See, if I'm not coming for you, do not come for me. If I'm respecting myself, respect yourself. It's not so hard. It's just that a lot of people just want to trend because they know that the moment they talk about Black Americans, they're going to trend. Do you get? And one thing a lot of people are forgetting is the internet never forgets. I don't know why you think that you can just come, say anything you want to say, and go your way. When you are now looking for the helps of Black Americans are not going to come true for you. And that is what is happening to the Latinos, the Hispanics, the Mexican community now, even the African community, where Black Americans have literally said, we're no longer standing for anybody. We're standing on our own. We don't want to associate with anybody because at the end of the day, these people are not even coming for us. These people don't even like us. These people will literally go against us in every single point in time. Do you get? And for that, you now start saying that Black Americans keep going on internet spaces, looking for how to apportion blame to their fellow blacks. I cannot identify with my fellow black if my fellow black literally do not like me. That's the honest truth. I cannot identify with you. Yes, I'm a black woman. I'm a proud black woman. But you don't expect me to rub shoulders with you if you don't vibe with me. What am I vibing with you for if you don't vibe with me? It simply means no matter how I am trying to make you come close, you're definitely not going to give in to whatsoever. You understand? So for me, if you're watching this video as a Black American person, as an FBA to be specific, because that's the one that is actually freaking them out, please identify yourself with what you choose to identify yourself, and do not let anybody make you think that you're doing the wrong thing. You are never doing the wrong thing. It's as simple as ABCD. Anybody that can vibe with it should just go on their own. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Credit to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. I want to say a very big thank you to every single one of you liking, commenting, sharing, dropping super thanks. Also join my membership. I do not take you guys for granted. You guys are absolutely the best. With that being said, with no further ado, I do like I always say in my videos, I'm going to be saying bye and I'll see you guys in my next one. For that, bye guys. I love you guys. Mwah. Bye.